During this video, I will do a short presentation of the CallerQ app. The app was designed to help salespeople better manage their follow-up process and to allow them to stop forgetting to follow up with prospects. Let's assume for a second that the sales rep is required to make a certain number of calls each day. If that person would be calling someone and that person doesn't answer, then immediately after the sales rep hangs up the call, the app will pop up on the screen and require the sales rep to fill in a reason for why didn't that call happen. So for instance, there was no answer. Then I set up the date and the time for when the next follow-up call should happen. And for the purpose of this demonstration, let's assume I set it just 1 minute after the current time. I click yes, I want to reschedule this call, and then I get back to the home screen of the mobile phone. Exactly at the set date and time when the next follow-up call should happen, the app will pop up the sales rep with a notification on the screen in which the sales rep can select two alternative choices. One would be to call the person, the second would be to hit snooze, and the app will notify him again in 15 minutes time. So this allows the rep to easily set up each individual sales calls without the need to go into the CRM, log in the application, log in the fact that he called that rep, he called that prospect, and then afterwards, get back to calling again. So let's assume then I would be calling the person, he answers, and I would be able to set up the next meeting. Let's meet on Thursday. And I would be selecting the meeting to happen on the 2nd of June at about 11 a.m. Also, I would check this box which says save meeting to the calendar, which has not just the possibility of adding this meeting into my calendar, but also sends a meeting invite on this person's email address, on which he just has to say accept yes, and it will automatically be booked also into his calendar for him not to forget that we set up this meeting. And then I click yes, and if I would be opening my agenda, then on the 2nd of June I see that I have a meeting with this contact which is established at the date and time we agreed together. All these actions that the sales rep does within this mobile app would automatically go into the web application of CallerQ, which is designed for sales managers to be able to track the activity of the sales reps. So for instance, here I have a list with all my sales reps. I have a chart. Basically, it allows me to see who is making the most sales calls. This secondary chart allows me to see who has contacted the biggest number of customers, because you could be calling the same person multiple times. Also, this chart allows me to see how many calls has each person make from the existing number of contacts, or whether that sales rep has called new numbers, which is called market discovery. If I drill down into this sales rep activity, I would be able to see who that person the prospects that this sales rep has called from which company, when did this call happen, how long this call has taken, and whether this has turned into a meeting or not. And also I would be able to see the notes that the sales rep has made for each individual contact. And then if I would be selecting here just this contact, I'd be able to see that I've called him several times with no answer, and then afterwards he did answer and we set up a meeting. This would allow the sales managers to get a glimpse into the salesperson's activities, and also in order to properly assess the sales effort that this salesperson is actively doing.